Hello my beautiful people, good morning. Welcome back to Grace Fashion House. I am Grace Fatolu Titilope. How are you all doing? I believe everybody is doing well. Glory be to the Lord for that. It's been a while. Today I'll be teaching you how to cut and stitch a full gathered gown. A full gathered gown. First of all, cut the half length. And before we go into that, I want to tell you that I also make turban and fascinator. In my next video, I'll be teaching you how to make this. I believe you all like this. Look at this piece on my head. I will teach you how to make it. Now let's get started. The half length I'll be working with is 16.5 inches. 16.5 inches. This will serve as my starting point. This is my starting point. We'll be working with the half length of 16.5 inches. From this starting point, this is 16.5 inches, but I'll be adding 1 inch for seam allowance, 17.5 inches. That is the length I'll be working with. The length of the half length, 17.5 inches. And I'll be using the highest portion of my body measurement for folding. The body measurement, the highest portion of the body measurement for this upper part is the bust, and which is 38 inches. I will divide 38 inches by 4. That will be 9.5, 9.5. This is it. And I'll be adding 2 inches for seam allowance. 2 inches for seam allowance. The highest portion of the person body measurement for the upper part is bust. And the bust measurement is 38 inches. 38 inches divided by 4 will give me 9.5. This is it. This is where we have the 9.5. But I'll be adding 2 inches for seam allowance. That is it. Now, from the starting point here, I'll be marking the shoulder. The shoulder measurement is 8 inches, but I will be adding half an inch to it. That makes it 8.5. 8.5. From there, I will measure the armhole length, which is 9 inches. That is where I will be inserting my bust measurement. I'll connect the line from where the shoulder line stops. I'll connect it to this 9 inches where I will be marking my bust measurements. I'll come down here to the folded part. I will mark that 9 inches. That is my chest line where I will be inserting the bust measurements. We will be needing the bust line. The half length is 17 inches. I said 16.5 inches, I told you, but I will add 1 inch for seam allowance for joining to the down parts. And also the under bust is 14 inches. 14 inches. So those are the lines we'll be needing. I want to connect the lines to the end. Now, on the chest line, I'll be measuring the bust measurement, which is 9.5. I told you the bust measurement is 38 inches. When I divide 38 inches by 4, I will have 9.5, which is here. And I will be adding 2 inches for seam allowance. Now, the under bust measurement is 35 inches. 35 inches. I will also divide that by 4 rather, sorry. I will divide 35 inches by 4. And I will add 2 inches for seam allowance. I will also come down to the waist measurement, the half length. I will also mark 35 inches divided by 4, and I will be adding 2 inches for seam allowance too. I will connect the lines together. The bust measurement, I connect it to the under bust down to the waist line. That is that. Now, the neck width I will be making use of is 3.5 inches. 3.5 inches for the neck width. 3.5 inches. And I'll be making use of depth of 5 inches. 5 inches for the depth of the neck. I will connect the line together. I'll cuff it. It's a round neck. I'll cuff it to that 5 inches. 3.5 inches for the neck width. And I also use 5 inches for the depth of the neck. Now, I will come to this shoulder line. I'll mark 1 inch. I'll mark 1 inch for my shoulder slope or slant. From this neckline now, the 3.5 inches, I will connect it to that 1 inch for the slope, for the shoulder slope. You know, originally we measure 9 inches for our armhole. And I've already deducted 1 inch for the shoulder slope. Now, from this 1 inch now, I will measure what I have left. You can see it very well. I'm having 8 inches left now. I will now look for the midpoint, the half of that 8, which is 4 inches. Now, I will come in by half of an inch. I look for the midpoint of that remaining 8 inches, which is 4. From that 4 now, on that midpoint, I will come down by half of an inch. That is how I will be connecting my armhole line. Look at it now. From this bust measurement where it ends, I'll come down now to this half inch, then go back to the line. I think we are done. The next thing now is to cut it out. The length of the upper part we are working with is 16.5 inches. I added 1 inch for seam allowance, which makes it 17.5 inches. We measure the chest line, the bust point, the bust line, the under bust line, which is 14, and also 16.5 inches for the half length. We inserted all the measurements, the vertical measurements, and also the width of the neck is 3.5 inches. I use 5 inches for the depth. I connected everything together. My neckline, the shoulder line is 8 inches. I added half of an inch to it, which makes it 8.5 inches. Now, I measured the armhole, which is 9 inches. And now take me by 1 inch for the slope, for the shoulder slope. I also look for the midpoint of the remaining one, which is 8, and the midpoint is 4. I then connect everything. The next thing for us now is to cut it out. Cut it out. After cutting it out, we use this to measure the back. It's as simple as that. Just follow this procedure. You make sure you'll be able to cut it. Even the beginners will be able to cut it without any problem. Now, come to the depth of the neck, which is 5 inches. Back to this 3.5. Now we cut the shoulder slope. The shoulder slope of 1 inch. Can you see it? Beautiful, right? We now use this to cut the back. Now to cut the back panel, I'll be placing this front panel on the remaining fabric. I'll be placing it on the remaining fabric. The only difference here is that I'll be needing 1.5 inches for zipper allowance. I'll be needing 1.5 inches for zipper allowance, which is here. 1.5 inches. Can you see it? 1.5 inches for zipper allowance. Now, I told you we have 1.5 inches. Which will serve as the zipper allowance. Which will serve as the zipper allowance. Now for the neck, for the back neckline, we still maintain the width of that 3.5 inches. The width will still remain 3.5 inches. But for the depth, I'll be using 2 inches for the depth. Just 2 inches for the depth, the back depth. I will connect the line from this 3 inches for the width, which is now I will connect it down to that 2 inches. That is the difference. I place the front panel on the remaining fabric. I left 1.5 inches for zipper allowance. If you like, you can use 2, but I love using 1.5. At times I even make use of 1 inch. Now I now measure 3.5 inches. Mind you, that 3.5 inches starts after the zipper allowance. It starts after the zipper allowance, and I come down by 2 inches for the depth, the back depth. Now I connect the lines together like this, and I'll be tracing out the front panel, which I will cut out now. After tracing it out, I will remove the front panel. The only difference is the zipper allowance and the neckline, which is 2 inches for the back and 5 inches for the front. So let me take it off and cut the back panel. I believe you are enjoying the class. Please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, like my videos, click on notification bell so that you'll be notified anytime I upload a new video. Like, please share my video with your friends and loved ones. When you do that, you make me glow. Share Grace Fashion House with your friends and loved ones. Please, please, please do that. Now to the slope, cut it out too. This is well explanatory. Even for a beginner, you will surely get it. And this back panel will be slitting it into 2 because of the zipper that will be added to it. This 1.5 inches that we added, we'll be slitting this into 2. I hope you can see clearly, please. In the comment section, you can ask me questions. Whatever is not clear to you, please ask questions. So we've slitted this into 2, the back panel, and we also have the front panel. You don't need to slit this at all. This is how it will look like. The front, this is the front panel. This is the back panel. I've divided that into 2. Can you see it? Now to the down part of the clothes, which is gathered. I told you it's going to be a full gathered. Now to cut the down parts, which is gathered, we'll be needing 2.5 to 3 of the waist measurements. I think I'll be making use of 3 times 3 of our waist measurements because I want it to be full. The fuller the dress is, the beautiful it become. Now if you don't have enough fabric, you can use 2.5 as a waist measurement times 2.5. But since I'm having enough fabric, I'll be making use of 33 over waist measurement. Our waist measurement is 35 inches. I will measure that 35 inches by 3. That is in 3 places rather. That is what I'll be gathering. This is 1, 35 times 3 of the waist measurement. This is 2. Sorry. Hey, don't mind me. 35. This is 2. And also times 3. We are not managing this fabric. We want it to be full. Times 3 of our waist measurements. Look at it. When I gather it, it's going to be fuller. It's going to be full. Scissors. What I will be doing. Times 3 of the waist measurements. Our waist measurement is 35 inches. I now measure that 35 inches in 3 places. And by the time I gather it, I'll gather it after the gathering for both front and back. What I will be having is still that 35 inches. And by the time I gather it, if you like, you can please. But I think I'll prefer gathering. I'll take it to my machine. I'll run a loose stitch and I'll be pulling it to make the gather. So look at it. After the gathering, this is how it will look like. It will be like this on the waistline after joining it to the upper parts. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Love this channel, please like it. Share my video with your loved ones, family members, with your friends. Always click on the notification bell. Like my video, share it, subscribe. Please subscribe, subscribe, and subscribe. Now I'll be cutting the sleeve. I'll be making use of the length of 17 inches for the sleeve. 17 inches. So, I think what I have here is 11 inches. And the upper place part here that will come in by 5 inches. Actually, around the armhole is 9 inches. I think by the time okay, let me see what I have here. Yes, at least. Now, the round sleeve, a round sleeve is 7.5 inches. 7.5 inches, and I think I have 11 inches here. I'll be making use of all 11 inches, the whole 11 inches, because I'll be adding elastic at the down part here. I'll be adding elastic to it. So what I have here is enough. I won't be covering it, so I'll cut it straight because of the elastic I'll be adding to the sleeve. I'll make use of this to cut the second sleeve. I'll be placing this on the remaining fabric cut out the second sleeve. Don't want to waste the fabric at all. Now it's time to cut, and cut. I've been notching here. That is where I'll be joining it to the armhole area. I'll be making use of the remaining for the scarf. The whole fabric is 5 yards, but because of the gathered part, that's why we have just this for the sleeve. And it's better we have full gathered than to have bigger scarf. You can use any other material for scarf. So let's go for the sewing now. I've already lined the clothes. This is the upper part, the front panel. I cut lining and I use it to turn it. I've turned it with lining. I did the same thing to the back side. I've also lined the back parts. Cut lining and turn it with the lining. I did the same thing to the other side. You know the backs, we split the back into two. So I've cut lining to turn it. I cut the lining exactly the way I cut the back. So this is the front, and this is the back. The 2 pieces. So I'm going to insert the zipper to the back side now. I'm going to insert the zipper. But before I do that, I'm going to put that. You look for the center of the fabric like this. You fold it into 2. This is the front panel. No, we did not divide the front panel into 2. Sorry. Now for the darts. We are going to use the nipple to nipple distance of the person, which is 4.5. From the center here, this is the front panel. From the center here, we will mark 4.5. That is nipple to nipple of the person we are working with. Now, I will mark 5 inches. Don't know if you can see my chalk clearly, but from the folded parts here, we will be marking 4.5 inches, and also 5 inches. We will do the same thing on the other side. From the folded parts, mark 4.5 inches, then 5 inches. I'll be taking it to my machine and sew from these 5 inches down. I will also do the same thing to the other side. From these 5 inches down, I'm going to sew it. Now to the back panel. To the back panel. One and a half inches is for the zipper allowance. 1.5 inches. We will mark the 1.5 inch like this. After that, we will now mark the 4.5. 4.5. The nipple to nipple of the person I'm working with is 9 inches. So divided by 2 is 4.5. So from this zipper allowance, which is 1.5 inch, I will mark that 4.5 down here. Then I will connect it to 5 inches. I will also do the same thing to the other one. 1.5 inch. 1.5 inches for the zipper allowance. That is what I will mark to the hem of the clothes. Then from that 1.5, I will be marking the 4.5 inches for that. Then I'll mark 5 inches. From these 5 inches, I will sew it down to the hem of the clothes here. So put it like this, take it to my machine. I will sew the dart straight down. I will do the same thing to the other one. 5 inches straight down. That is what I'll be sewing. Now to the down part of the clothes. I told you it's going to be a full gathered. Look at it. This is the front panel, and this is the back panel. The back panel was divided into two. We divided the back panel into two because of the zipper allowance. I've already run the running stitch that I told you about. I've already run it. So this is it. Look at it. I'll pull the thread. I've run the running stitch. Look at it now. I'm gathering it. I'll gather it. I gather it. The waist measurement of the person we are working with is 35 inches. Don't forget when we're cutting it, 35 inches. Now we're going to divide it into two. This one is for the front panel, which is going to be 17.5. The back panel was divided into two because of zip. Because of the zipper, we are going to be adding to it. I divided it into two. So each of these now, the front is 17.5, and that 17.5 for the back, I will divide it into two because of the zipper allowance. And don't forget, I left 1.5 inches for the zipper allowance for the back panel. So what I will do now, I will join both the fronts after gathering it. I will join both the fronts and the back together. The back is two. I will join it together with the fronts. So what I will be doing to this back side of the upper part now is that I'm going to be adding zipper to it. I will take it to my sewing machine now. I will add zipper to it. After that, I will join the front and the back together. I will join the front and the back together. The back part is divided into two panels. I will add the zipper allowance to join it together. The zipper to the zipper allowance of 1.5 inches that we left. I will join it together with that 1.5 inches. After that now, I will join both the front and the back together. I will join both the front and the back panel together. This is how I will be doing it. Look at the next side. Fabric to fabric. You bring fabric and fabric together like this. Also, lining and lining together. Then you bring it together like this and you sew it. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Let me go and join it first, then I'll bring it back and show you the next step. See, I put the darts on the front panel. I did the same thing also on the back panel. I've added zipper to it. I've added zipper to the back. The two pieces are joined together now. Join both front and back together. We join both the front and the back together. Right side facing right side. Right side of the front panel facing the right side of the back panel. Now, we will join the two at the shoulder. How are we going to join it? By bringing them together like this. Fabric facing fabric, while lining also will face the lining. Like this. Fabric to fabric, lining to lining. That is how to join the shoulder. Okay. Bring it like this. Let me pin it down. I will do the same thing to the other side. I will do the same thing to the other side. Fabric to fabric, bring the fabric and fabric together, both front and back, and you also bring their linings together like this. Look at it. Join it together like this. Bring the fabric like this together. Also, you bring the lining, their lining together. Then you turn it like this. I pin it down. I take it to my sewing machine and stitch. Let me pin it down first. After joining the shoulders together, I will take the accurate measurements. I will take the bust measurements divided by 2. I'll come to the under bust too. I do the same thing. Also to the waistline. Take the I will take the bust measurement divided by 2. Bust measurement divided by 2. Under bust measurement divided by 2. Also the waist measurement divided by 2. I will take it to my sewing machine now. I will join it. I will bring it back. I've finished joining everything together. The upper part together with the other part. Join the sleeve. This is the end result. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.